I declare open the 2023 High-Level Political Forum on Sustainable Development, convened under the auspices of the General Assembly, SDG Summit, and I call to order the first plenary meeting. Heads of state and government, Secretary General, President of the Social and Economic Council, Ministers, Excellencies, distinguished delegates. I am honored to welcome you all to the SDG Summit at this critical juncture. As representatives are aware, this forum is held pursuant to General Assembly Resolutions 67/290 of 9th July 2013 and 75/290B of 25th June 2021. Before proceeding further, I first invite the forum to turn to the consideration of Agenda Item 2 and the consideration of its provisional agenda as contained in Document A/HLPF/2023/1. May I take it that the forum wishes to adopt the agenda as contained in Document A/HLPF/2023/1. I see no objection. It is so decided. I recall that pursuant to General Assembly Resolution 67/290, the meetings of the forum convened under the auspices of the General Assembly shall operate under the rules of procedure of the main committees of the Assembly. I should now like to draw to the attention of representatives Agenda Item 3 concerning election of officers other than the chair. In accordance with paragraph 6C of General Assembly Resolution 67/290, the meetings of the forum under the auspices of the Assembly will be chaired by its president. May I take it that the forum decides to elect the 21 vice chairs of the General Assembly at its 78th session as vice chairs of the forum. I see no objection. It is so decided. I further draw the attention of the forum to the letter of the President of the General Assembly at its 77th session, dated 17th July 2023, by which participating states were invited to express the interest of their head of state or government to serve as a co-moderator for a leaders' dialogue. In this connection, I am pleased to inform the forum that I have appointed as co-moderators for Leaders Dialogue 1, Her Excellency Katalin Novak, President of Hungary, and His Excellency Kasim Jomart Tokayev, President of the Republic of Kazakhstan. For Leaders Dialogue 2, His Excellency Andrzej Duda, President of the Republic of Poland, and His Excellency Philip J. Pierre, Prime Minister of St. Lucia. For Leaders Dialogue 3, His Excellency William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya, and Her Excellency Natasha Perk Musar, President of the Republic of Slovenia. For Leaders Dialogue 4, His Excellency Mark Brown, Prime Minister of the Cook Islands, and Her Excellency Mette Frederiksen, Prime Minister of Denmark. For Leaders Dialogue 5, Her Excellency Katrin Jakobsdottir, Prime Minister of Iceland, and His Excellency Philippe Jacinto Nyusi, President of the Republic of Mozambique. And for Leaders Dialogue 6, His Excellency Macky Sall, President of the Republic of Senegal, and His Excellency Ulf Kristersson, Prime Minister of Sweden. I thank them for taking on this important role and wish all participants every success in the deliberations. In accordance with the program of work, Leaders Dialogue 1 will begin at 10:30 a.m. in the Trusteeship Council chamber. There will be a short overlap with the plenary meeting so that all group statements can be heard. Allow me now to deliver my opening statement from the rostrum. Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, Secretary General of the United Nations, Your Excellency Ms. Paula Narvaez, President of the Economic and Social Council, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, and guests. It is an honor to welcome you to the 2023 High-Level Political Forum on Sustainable Development, the SDG Summit. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, adopted unanimously by all United Nations member states in 2015, constitutes a global call to action to banish poverty from our societies, protect and preserve our planet, and to ensure prosperity for all. The 17 Sustainable Development Goals serve as a beacon of hope and a roadmap for common action to create a more equitable, more just, and more sustainable world. Now, at the midway point, it is essential that we take stock of our progress and assess the remaining challenges that confront us. Such assessment is a necessary basis for charting a course of success to ensure that we, the United Nations, keep faith with the bold undertaking we gave to the world in 2015, that no one is left behind. Today's summit therefore provides a unique platform for us to recommit to the 2030 agenda. I therefore encourage you to use this opportunity for peer learning, to share your experiences, forge partnerships, and put forth innovative ideas that can help drive meaningful change. However, let us be clear, Excellencies. A combination of factors, including the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, impacts of climate change, and the war in Ukraine, have presented a series of complex and intersecting crises. And while this has dramatically altered the trajectory of the entire world, it is, as is too often the case, those in the most precarious circumstances who are already most vulnerable suffer the most. This includes countries in special situations, small island developing states, least developed countries, and landlocked developing countries. The most vulnerable in our communities, including women and girls, young people, persons with disabilities, older persons, and indigenous people, have not been spared and are at the foremost receiving end of these crises. Despite commitments to eradicate poverty and to reduce hunger being at the core of this agenda, alarmingly, 1.2 billion people were still living in multidimensional poverty as of 2022. It is estimated that approximately 8% of global population, or 680 million people, will still be facing hunger in 2030. Can we accept these numbers? Or, because they make us uncomfortable, should we pretend they do not exist and carry on with business as usual? Surely we cannot. To do so would amount to being reckless. Rather, we must do more to lift people sustainably out of poverty and hunger, not merely because it is the right thing to do in the name of humanity, but also because to do nothing would be to fan the flames of discord and conflict with well-known terrible consequences. Excellencies, while there have been setbacks, we cannot relent in our resolve and determination to do our utmost to rescue the SDGs, as we have been challenged by the Secretary General. The fact that we are lagging in our promise cannot be the death knell of our blueprint, nor should this summit be a forum to point fingers, apportion blame, and certainly not to accept defeat. Instead, bold and transformative actions must be prioritized to support the well-being of our global constituents, particularly those left farthest behind. This is our moment to rededicate ourselves to the SDGs and to reinvigorate progress across the entirety of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. The 2023 Global Sustainable Development Report outlines clear steps in that regard. It recommends an ambitious SDG push scenario to improve social protection, strengthen governance, promote a green economy, and address digital disruption while improving access to quality education and healthcare in a human rights setting. With concerted, ambitious action, it is still possible that by 2030, we could lift 124 million additional people out of poverty and ensure that some 113 million fewer people are malnourished. Such achievements would also generate gains across the other goals related to health, nutrition, and education. Adequate investment in the SDGs is therefore a win-win for all, with cross-cutting and knock-on benefits reverberating across the globe, positively impacting every society and every community. Excellencies, I urge you to make this strategic investment in the SDGs through effective domestic resource mobilization, accompanied by fulfillment of the targets set for the inflow of official development assistance and productive partnerships with the private sector. we must reform the international financial architecture to promote affordable, stable, long-term financing for sustainable development across the global south, where development has been in perpetual deficit. The Financing for Development Dialogue and the Summit of the Future are both key opportunities to continue pushing this reform agenda, bearing in mind the urgent need to address the worsening gap for financing the SDGs. Excellencies, by delivering meaningful change to the lives of so many, we can demonstrate that the UN not only hears the demands of those in difficult situations, but more importantly, that these needs will not go unmet. Renewed faith in us by the many who depend on us will help to restore our credibility, trust, and ultimately a sense of confidence that UN-led multilateralism delivers. We must remember the world is watching. Our 8 billion constituents are looking to us for a signal that we will keep our promises and that we are alive to the reality that we have only 7 years left before 2030. They want and deserve full reassurance that we altogether recognize the circumstantial setbacks that so many have experienced and continue to endure, and that we stand ready to support them in their time of acute need. And most importantly, that we see the heightened sense of urgency, and we are all prepared as world leaders gather here today to raise our ambition and recommit to meaningfully delivering the 2030 Agenda and its 17 SDGs. With that in mind, I challenge you all to demonstrate emboldened leadership by using this summit to announce groundbreaking commitments to support and to complete the 2030 Agenda. I call for your support to the political declaration, negotiations for which were skillfully led by Qatar and Ireland, to whom I extend my grateful thanks and that of the membership. I sincerely believe that the declaration represents the most ideal common denominator for the overwhelming majority of members. Adoption of a strong declaration at this summit will herald the start of a new phase of accelerated progress to achieve the SDGs by 2030. As we navigate the challenges ahead, the SDGs will remain a true blueprint for humanity and will continue to be our guideposts to deliver peace, prosperity, progress, and sustainability for all peoples everywhere. As the late former Secretary General Kofi Annan once said, we must work tirelessly to achieve a better world that is free from fear and free from want. I thank you.